Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, October 6th, and I thank you for joining into our weekly PPACA webinars. We have an awful lot to talk about today, and I thank you all for joining in because I know that the topics that we're going to talk about today are important to you, and I will give you all the information that I can and that I have, and which is more. I will give you all the information I have. I am not holding anything back. And as usual, if you have any questions, you can either ask the question by raising your hand icon to the right of the screen, or you can type in your question in the question box and I'll answer it at the end of the webinar. You know, again, there's a lot of questions that I don't have answers to, but I'm happy to at least answer questions. So let's just start right in with the first bullet point, and forgive my PowerPoint screen because I had so much that I needed to get in and I couldn't make the font any smaller and still be able to read it. So it's a little bit crushed, but hopefully you'll be able to read it. Again, the top bullet point is the FFM certificates with Highmark. They are through Sentinel Elite. You have to go into Sentinel Elite and do the ethics training, and then you're going to get a screen that basically says that they're waiting on your validation. And another thing is go into the profile page and make sure you add your FFM user ID to your profile. Otherwise, you're not going to get credit for any sale that you do make with Highmark, if that even matters. So I did include in the handouts in your system the Sentinel Elite instructions. So just, you know, if you haven't done that yet, make a point to do that because, you know, again, if they pay commissions, then you're going to need to have that done. So here's the bulk of, I imagine, why all of you are on today, the carrier updates. And here's what we know so far. Last week and then this week again, we're going to have the Capital Blue Cross information in our newsletter, and Capital has decided that they are not paying any commissions for 2017 for new business. They are considering paying on renewals. What that renewal compensation will be if they decide to pay it, and what the definition of renewal is, again, is something that I don't have information on yet. So unfortunately, you know, at this point, all I can say is no commissions for Capital. If you have FFM folks with Capital, all of your Capital folks are going to be getting a letter from Capital explaining the disruption. And for your FFM folks, they're also going to be getting a letter from CMS showing them what plan they are mapped to. Of course, they can choose to keep that plan or shop for another plan, another carrier. And even if they keep the Capital plan on Marketplace, they would still have to go in and update their income information. Off Marketplace, Capital is going to also be sending out letters auto mapping to the most similar plan. Again, they have the option to keep it, and if they want to keep it, they do nothing. If they want to change within Capital, we'll need a new app, and if they want to go to another carrier, then again, that's a different process altogether. But that's what we know on Capital so far. I hope to have more information to share with you as we get very, very close to 11/1. Independence is also, the information for Independence Blue Cross is in the news this week. That will be going out around 10:30. And they are also not paying any commissions for new to blue. So again, with Aetna and United pulling out of the Marketplace, in the 5-county Philly area with Independence, there's no other carrier available. Now, they did share with me what the compensation is. So I'm going to go to a different screen here. This is the Independence Blue Cross individual compensation. Now, again, this is renewing business only. It's in this highlighted section. You can see for the Platinums, it's 1.7%, Gold 2.13%, 2.55 for Silver, and 1.7 for Bronze or Catastrophic. The average premium increase is 29%, and you can see that, you know, logically that you would think that that would increase your compensation since it's paying by percentage, but it isn't. For instance, they give a platinum an average premium of $641, paid $1924 in 2016. For 17, average premium on a platinum is $884, compensation $1769 average. So again, I wanted to share this information with you so that you know if you have any independent Blue Cross folks out there and you retain them, because there's nothing else you can do. They'd have to go to independents, then you would be getting renewal compensation on those. Aetna, of course, Aetna's been all over the news. They have pulled out of Pennsylvania on the marketplace. So for 2017, they will offer no products on the marketplace for 2017 in the individual market. Off marketplace, they will have one plan. We don't know what that plan is yet. Submission of that application is paper application only and no compensation. So Aetna, for all intents and purposes, is out of the broker market. So just be mindful of that. I do have some news on Highmark for both Central PA, Western PA, and Northeastern PA. I don't have a lot other than the fact that the word of the day is disruption. They will be streamlining, if you will, reducing their plan offerings. What that means, I don't know. They're going to have more regionalized plans, more narrow network plans, as all carriers, I believe, are. And, you know, again, I don't know what that means for what's left in the product, what the regions are, and if they are paying compensation for any of the territories, and if they're paying renewal compensation. We don't know. So at this point, I have nothing to share with you on Highmark other than what I've just mentioned. UPMC, for the Western PA folks, we did hear from them yesterday. They are paying commissions. Of course, they can't tell me what those commissions are. You know, so again, this is all I have, and I thought I'd at least share what I have. And of course, number 6, we have no news yet from Geisinger. Of course, we all remember last year Geisinger paid on renewal but not new business. I can't imagine that they're going to take a different strategy this year. So I wouldn't expect big news from Geisinger, but at this point we have no news yet. So that brings me up to our other bullet point, the referral program that we've been offering. When we get referrals from our agent partners right now, we kind of give them the deal of what we can and can't do, and we can certainly offer short-term, but effective immediately, that's going to go away. We are not going to take any more referral calls. We'll send them to the marketplace or to the carriers. And for 2017, obviously, we're not going to be offering our referral program. We're not going to take the calls. We're not going to pay a referral fee either. So just be mindful of that. One of the things that we're doing is creating a how to do business guide. And I'm working on this currently, and it's going to give you basically a book, if you will, a guide for how you do business with URL on the individual segment, where you send your apps, how you submit your apps. And we're also going to have a different section of that that you, as my agent partners, can put onto your website or send out to your clients with instructions on how they can make application. The how-to guide will have the enrollment numbers for the carriers, addresses for the direct stores, and customer service numbers. So I'm trying to give you all the tools you need to be as hands-off as you choose to be, if you choose to be. So that's coming soon. I'm hoping, well, I'm going to get it done by the end of this week, which is tomorrow, and hopefully we can turn that around very quickly and get that out to you. Next bullet point, and I think if there were tomatoes out there that could be virtually thrown at me, probably will. And the Highmark direct stores, they have a referral program. What a deal. So if you want to be part of that referral program, let me know. Again, I don't know if they're going to pay, but some of you are still in this market and use the individual health segment as leads for your Medicare or leads for life insurance. So if you are one of those folks that still want to be involved for whatever reason and want to have the Highmark redirect calls or refer calls to you, then please let me know and I will get you in touch with the folks at Highmark. Save the date. I had this on my bullet points last week, November 16th. There is a 2 CE course from 8:30 to 11:30 here at URL, and it is by Mass Mutual. They're going to give you some sales ideas, and that might be timely for you, and also talk about a business succession planning. This has been a topic that a lot of my agent partners have asked about, and I think it's, you know, again, timely if you want that succession planning. What happens after you pass? You know, what do you have to do to make sure that your income is protected? So I think it's a good CE seminar and informative. So just watch for that information coming soon and register if you have an interest. Next week on my webinar, I'm going to introduce Chad Wilcox. And Chad works with the HealthiestYou Tele-Doc Card. I'm going to just bump out of here real quick because I want to show you, give me 1 second. Well, I'll show you the pricing first of all. So the goodness gracious. The HealthiestYou Tele-Doc Card is something that you can offer, as you see, to employers for $9 a single, etc., or $9 per person. This individual plan that you can add this to a bronze plan or any plan, and it's $11 a single, $15 for family. It pays 15% commission. Now, I know that's not a lot, and that's not going to save anybody's income, but it is something that I think, you know, these Tele-Doc cards I'm not a big fan of. This one I like, and I'm going to show you again right here. HealthiestYou and Tele-Doc are the largest Tele-Doc company in the United States. And you can see just by market share how large they are. I think a lot of the features within this Tele-Doc card make it very attractive. $0 copay when you call in. So I wanted to take at least some time next week to give you maybe a 10-minute overview, or Chad give you a 10-minute overview, and hopefully you'll join in next week and learn about that. I'm also holding a webinar, a full webinar. My target date is November 3rd. So again, you'll get more information on that, but if you have an interest in learning about it, please join in next week and register for the webinar. As we know, the marketplace opens November 1st, so I want you to keep checking Healthcare.gov for rates because they typically come out about a week prior to November 1st, so we can get a peek at the rates before maybe even the carriers release them to us. So again, just keep checking with Healthcare.gov. And that brings us up to our open forum. I imagine folks have some questions. I do have a hand up, so I'm going to start with the folks that have their hands raised. And I'm going to start with Ann. Ann, do you hear me?
I do.
Hey, Ann.
You hear me?
I do.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just a quick question for you. I'm wondering if they are, like Capital Blue, for instance, is offering any commission for off-marketplace plans, or any of the other carriers, do you know?
Yeah, that's a good question. Thank you, because, well, the simple answer is no, but I have been getting that question a lot, that, if they're doing this for FFM, does that mean that they'll pay off marketplace? And the answer to that is no. So any new Cap Blue Cross 2017 business on or off marketplace is non-commissionable.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. All right. Anyone else have their hand up? Let's see here. No. All right. So let me go to the questions here and see what we have. Do we know, Karen asks, do we know when Capital will be mailing out these notifications? I don't, Karen. Let me see if it's on the fact sheet. No, it just says that they'll receive a letter. I will find that out, Karen, and circle back around and also let everyone know next week. Just have to make myself a note. Okay, sorry I couldn't answer that, Karen. Sunny says, for CBC, do you know if it's no commission both on and off? Yes, both on and off, no compensation for new Cap Blue Cross business. Bill says, if Capital Blue Cross consumer is mapped to another plan, will renewal commission be paid, or will that constitute a new enrollment? Bill, that's a really great question. I can assume that the answer to that is yes, that if they're with Capital and are mapped for 17 to a 17 plan, that's considered a renewal. But at this point, that's not been confirmed, and I don't have that information. So I think that's a yes, Bill, but at this point, I don't know. Erica asks, is IBX paying if they switch to a different IBX plan? Yes, it's just new to Blue, so your renewals for independents are safe. And they're also decreasing their plan offerings as well, so there will be some mapping of independents 2016 plans to 17 plans as well. Nate says, was a little late to the webinar. Will CBC be paying commissions on ACA renewal and continuing the big 534 commission on pre-ACA plans? The pre-ACA plans are still commissionable, I believe. That was my assumption. I will check on that as well. And because they did bring out or send out the information that the pre-ACA plans are going to be retained for another year, and the rates are awesome. So I'm sure everyone that has those are holding tightly to them. I think the answer, Nate, is yes, but I'll find that out. And other than that, no commission for new to Blue, new to Capital. Jay says, how can consumers be forced to participate in the marketplace if they don't have choices? If there is a choice and it is not affordable, can the consumer not file some sort of appeal? That's a great question too, Jay. Yeah, if it is unaffordable, the premium is unaffordable, then they can get an exemption from the individual mandate, the tax penalty, but bottom line is they'd be left uninsured. So, and I believe they raised that to 8.05%, which is of household, which is supposed to be the affordability or the unaffordability cap. But I will check on that as well. And Sunny says, if we aren't getting commission payment, can we charge a consultation fee? There's a lot of different answers out there, Sunny. I can tell you that some friends in the industry have run it by their legal teams and have said that the act of taking an application and enrollment is non-commissionable. You can't charge for that or non-fee based, but there seems to be an area for consulting where you can review the plans, narrow down the choices, review the network coverage for their providers, review the formularies for their medications, and charge a fee for that consult. Again, we're not advocating. I'm not giving legal advice. These are all my disclaimers. I'm just saying there are people doing it, but they're not doing it to take an application. It's just the consult itself. How's that for non-committal? Jay says, referral program is discontinued on all lines of business offered by URL. Absolutely not, Jay. Thank you again for saving me from myself. No, this is specific to the individual under 65 model only, just that segment. We still do referral business for Medicare, annuities, life, disability, employee benefits, group health, all of that. Tracy says, can you go over IBX and Highmark commission schedule again, and can you send me the information on the HealthiestYou Tele-Doc Card? Yes, I can send that out, Tracy. Independence is only going to be paying on renewals. I'll send you the commission structure, the page. It's also in my newsletter today. And Highmark, we don't know yet. Highmark has not come out with saying they are or are not paying commission for new business or on renewals. So I have no information on Highmark commission. Jessica says, any hope in being able to charge a fee for health enrollment? So Jessica, I think you just heard that answer. Dina says, when did CBC say they would let us know about renewals, and how about the blues? Any idea? Because UPMC is waiting for all of them. Well, UPMC has told me that they are paying commissions. What they are, I don't know. And Capital is working on their commissions for renewals if they're offering them. And I don't have that information. I hope to have that very soon. I will ask them again today. And for Highmark, again, I don't know. Karen says, when can we expect the carriers to release if they will be paying renewal commissions, or if Highmark is paying at all? Well, Karen, I can tell you the answer that I'm getting from some of the carriers, which makes me want to jump through the phone or the computer. It makes me see red, is that they're telling me that we should know something within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, well, if you look at the date and look at 2 to 3 weeks, we have no choice but to have to know by 11/1. So unfortunately, those are the responses, the type of responses that we're getting, Karen. So I don't know. I ask them every day. I promise you that. It's important to me as well. And will IBX pay conversions from other blue carriers? Well, Tony, I don't know. And I'm not sure. I don't know under what circumstances they would have conversions from other blue carriers, other than if they move from one area to another. But I will find that out and get back to you. Boy, I'm a wealth of knowledge here, aren't I? Jay Suckup says, when called by our clients, we should then, I guess, tell them that we can no longer help them pro bono and that they should refer all questions to the carriers. That still remains. Jay, I would say that you should do what you want. I can't certainly tell you how to run your shop. I can tell you that we are taking a huge step back from the individual model. And you know, you know, you have to do what you want, and some agents are treating the individual segment as leads for other carriers, other lines. I'm sorry, not other carriers, other lines of business. But if you choose to do that, that's entirely up to you. And Jeff says, do you foresee no commission spreading to small group? I do not yet, Jeff. You know, I can say that I will never say never, but I can tell you for 2017, that is not something that any carrier has given any information on changing. In fact, quite the opposite, that it's staying the same. Lori says, do you have the process for sending our FFM certs to IBX and UPMC? IBX is supposed to be through Sentinel Elite as well. I don't have those codes yet. And UPMC last year was just emailing, but I don't have that information yet either, Lori. And Jim says, United Healthcare not selling in PA? They are not. Dave says, are CBC and Highmark short-term programs still in place? Yes, they are. Maria says, will you be okay with all these changes? Hopefully you will be plenty of other things to do at URL so we can still see you. Well, thank you, Maria. Yes, we are all secure here. Thank goodness we are diversified, and you know, individual was a big segment for my department, but an even larger segment is our group health and the way that we're building that block and growing that block very successfully. So thank you, Maria, for the kind words. I will be around probably more than any of you want to see me. Tracy says, Deb, you can say that. Oh, okay. Tracy, my one agent partner, did go back and forth with the insurance department, and the answer they gave her is that they cannot charge for application or consultation fees to the consumers. So that's the official insurance department answer, and that's what I had experienced as well. But again, some of the legal teams think there's a gray area. Again, no legal advice here. I'm not trying to tell you one way or the other. You have to want to do. I would just be mindful of taking money to enroll. And let's see, Hal says, so it sounds like our best option for commissions is to try for clients to renew with current plans. I would agree with that, Hal. And quite frankly, you know, the market's helping us. There are not many choices out there. So a lot of people probably are going to stay where they're at. Dave says, Aetna for 2017 will reduce small group from 24 to 19. Okay. We did not get that information, and I will find that out because it was not 24 either. So I'll have to talk to you, Dave. I'm not sure where you're getting your information because that's not the compensation anyway. So I'll find that out. Bill says, the agent will soon be viewed with the dinosaur. Yes, they did once walk the earth. Yeah, good observation, Bill. And Sunny says, please repeat the official DOL response. And the DOL response was that Tracy asked the Department of Insurance if they could charge a consultation fee, and they said, no, we cannot charge for application or consultation fees to the consumers on the individual block. That's the official word from the insurance department, which is always the answer we've had. Michelle says, I apologize if you said this, but will IBC pay commissions on individual renewals for 2017? Yes, they will, Michelle, and the information on the commissions is right here. This is what your renewal commission is. Again, this information here is in my newsletter. All right, so that, I believe, ends all the questions. Let me just double check. As soon as I get some information, I will absolutely get all this information over to you. It's going to be fast and furious for the next couple weeks, obviously, as we get very, very close to 11/1. I will have more information for you next week on the 13th. If you have questions in the meantime, you can always call me. Don't think that you have to wait till the 13th. Again, on the 13th, I'm going to just have an additional 10 minutes to do a better introduction, much better than the course, to the HealthiestYou Tele-Doc Card. So I think that's some exciting, an exciting product that you can offer, maybe take away some of the hurt, if you will. But as always, I really appreciate you joining in. And please give me a call with any questions. Judy Reed as well can answer anything that you have. She's at extension 104. And as always, I appreciate your partnership. We're going to get through this. We're going to figure this out. And, you know, we're going to do what we do best, which is help clients. And we'll figure out together how we're going to do that and still make money. So, again, I appreciate everyone joining in. And hopefully I'll talk with you next week. Until then, have a great balance of the week and have a wonderful weekend. Stay dry. Bye-bye.